Welcome back. Staying with the big story that has been breaking on your screens with regards to Vodafone Idea. Ashmit is now joining in with more details on this. Ashmit.
Well, this was clearly an attempt being made by at least two companies, Bharti Airtel and Vodafone Idea. However, the Supreme Court has come heavily on both. The Supreme Court is of the view that these petitions are entirely misconceived, that these petitions are being filed despite there being very clear, explicit Supreme Court orders which have denied relief earlier, and that this is not something that the apex court will be kind to. This is not something that the Supreme Court will allow, and towards that end has made it abundantly clear that it is rejecting, it is dismissing the application. Now, the reason this is significant is because both these players, Bharti Airtel, but more Vodafone Idea, had made this a plea of last resort, so to speak. Vodafone Idea, we understand, had also made representations to the government seeking some relief. The ominous outlook that Vodafone Idea had given to the government is that if this relief doesn't come their way, then it will result to the company going into NCLT, into insolvency. It cannot survive beyond FY26. Very ominous figures is what Vodafone Idea had shared with the government. And this, they had come to the apex court because the government had said that our hands are tied. We cannot allow the relief on account of previous Supreme Court judgments. And it is a revision of that was sought as a part of this petition. However, the Supreme Court saying that we will have none of it, the petitions being dismissed, and therefore, in a way, trying to close the chapter as far as securing AGR relief from at least the Supreme Court is concerned.
Ashmit, stay on because we also have some reactions lined up as well. Mr. HP Ranina, as the senior advocate of the Supreme Court, and Shiju PV, the managing partner of India Law LLP, are joining us now for a quick reaction. Mr. Ranina and Shiju, good afternoon. Thank you for joining in. Mr. Ranina, first to you. It was almost as if it came across as if Vodafone Idea was trying to delay the inevitable here. But what do you make of this now? What lies ahead for Vodafone Idea after the dismissal of this petition?
Well, this petition had to be dismissed because it was a review petition based on what the Supreme Court had already taken a view. So unfortunately, they keep on going to the court on a review petition. Review is only to be done in an exceptional case where there's a fundamental error in the order of the Supreme Court. But this is not a subject for review petition. So now the only solution is you cannot go to the Supreme Court anymore. Supreme Court has shut its doors on you. Only thing you can do is appeal to the government. Government can then give you some relief. Government can give you time to pay the AGR. Government can reduce it if they so wish. It's entirely a government is concerned now. If government wants to support the telecom sector, then they have to take certain action.
Shiju, what does, as Mr. Ranina said, right, the court has now shut the doors for Vodafone Idea, and now they'll have to go to the government to seek more support. But what more can the government do here? Because they already have 49% stake in the company. They still have around significant amounts still due to them. What next for them?
See, basically, it is a classic case of government is taking a very reactive action and letting the court to make the policy decision. You all know
yes,
Supreme Court is not a policy-making body. And see, whether the questions like whether a duopoly is justifiable or good for Indian consumer interest, that is something a government has to decide. We already have a duopoly in the airline sector. Now another major telecom infra is also going to a duopoly side. So these are the policy decisions government should have taken. Telecom sector government should have taken a decision. It could have made the policy whether the penalty and also the interest and all can be regulated or can be justified. Because around 75% of the due amount is towards the penalty and interest. So these are all the policy decisions. Government has enough sufficient time to take a call on this thing. So it is purely on the part of government now to take a call on this.
The onus lies with the government, right? But Mr. Ranina, does the government have any recourse to reach out to the courts, or the doors are now, or any legal recourse is finally is shut completely for Vodafone Idea now?
Yes, my view is totally shut. In fact, the Supreme Court will be very upset or angry with if they ever go back to the Supreme Court on the same issue. The only thing is government has to act now. How they do it is their problem. But if the government doesn't want to give them relief, then they have to pay up. And they will have to pay up at the appointed time. And then it's a question of business ventures. How they run their commercial activities, their problem. But nothing can be done at the judicial level. Let this be very clear.
All right, Mr. Ranina, Shiju, thank you so much for sparing time and joining us with your views on this issue there. Ashmit, thank you for joining in as well. The big story of the afternoon that the Supreme Court has dismissed Vodafone Idea's writ petition seeking urgent relief for AGR dues. The stock 8.5% lower, and as an impact of that, Indus Towers too has slumped to the lowest point of the day. Both Mr. Ranina and Shiju in a consensus view saying that the ball now lies in the court of the government, and that any legal further recourse for Vodafone Idea appears to be shut. So that's the story that we are tracking this afternoon. But we take a short break here on Business Lunch. From me and the team that put this show together, thank you so much for watching. We leave you with the market still consolidating around that 25,000 mark. Mid-cap radar on the other side.